Well, good afternoon, Juliette, and thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Hi, Kate. It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, so we're chatting this afternoon about for our Trisomy Awareness Month campaign. We would like to talk to you as the trustee of SOFT and hear a bit more about how you came to find SOFT and how you came to be involved with SOFT, and a little bit more about how the changes you've seen in SOFT over the years. So welcome again, and we look forward to hearing your story.
Yeah, thank you, Kate. I first got involved with SOFT. My first daughter, Amelia, was born in 2010, and she was not diagnosed in pregnancy at all. Excuse me. It was actually found after pregnancy when she was born at 40 weeks, and she was in special care for about a week, and then got diagnosed with Edwards syndrome, which is trisomy 18, and then it was just a shock because it was first pregnancy. Obviously, have all your dreams and everything. Never heard of it either, so it was very new. The hospital I was at were great. They let my husband stay, and I do remember a midwife at 3 a.m. like Googling, trying to look for support for me, to find some support networks. And at the time there wasn't much out there, and we didn't find SOFT at the time because I think now our presence is a lot more better in social media and everything. So we couldn't find SOFT at the time, but she said, "Oh, I'm sure there's something out there. I'll keep looking for you." And then when we'd left the hospital after, unfortunately, we took Amelia home, and she was at home for a week. She survived 2.5 weeks and then died back in the hospital. And then sort of when I went back to the hospital and sort of saw the midwife sort of tracked me down, and she was like, come to see me, see how I was, obviously, which was lovely. Had support from bereavement midwife, and she said, actually, we found this organisation called SOFT, and I was like, oh, brilliant. So it did appear, but it was one of those things that now hopefully we'll get through to more people straight away in hospital. It was a bit of a finding a situation. So so I got given the information of SOFT, but I wasn't in the right place to sort of get in touch straight away. As you can imagine, with the grief, it was also the shock. It was first baby for me and my husband, so we had our dreams and everything gone. It wasn't picked up in pregnancy, so it was just complete shock of that she wasn't there no longer, that she was not with us. And also
you'd had no time to process that diagnosis, like many people who at least find out at scans during pregnancy. So your head must have been all over the place, and she passed away so quickly. So still coming to terms with the diagnosis, never mind her passing. So it must have been a whirlwind.
It was. I mean, at the time, they sort of it all feels a bit of a blur, and it's only now looking back, and it's nearly 12 years, I can picture some of the conversations, because I think at the time you blur it out because you're in grief and shock. But and I remember them saying, "Oh, hopefully she'll live a few months." And I think 6 months was the max she was given because of all the problems. But it was a shock because it didn't get picked up on scan, and that was one of the things actually that once I'd grieved, I took it to a bereavement panel review. Once I felt strong enough to do that, and it got looked into for us. And actually, yes, it should have been picked up on the 20-week scan. The sonographer had missed not just mine, but other ladies, unfortunately, cases. So I did, in that hospital, I did get a change because they obviously got rid of that member of staff, and sonographers were then reviewed. So I did make a change locally. So I felt that was really good for Amelia and for me that I'd done that. So it was, I think because it was the shock, I didn't want to talk to anyone straight away. It was just, me and my husband in our little bubble, really, trying to cope. So I think, I can't remember exactly, but I would say it was about 18 months or 2 years later that I got in touch with SOFT. I can't remember the exact date, but I thought, I'd sort of done my personal grieving, and I thought I really needed to talk to someone else. I got in touch with SOFT. And they were just there, and they were, no pressure, and it was just such warm approach, and it was nice knowing I wasn't alone. Because that's a thing, isn't it, that you feel like it's only happened to you, and it feels like you're really alone. And when you spoke to them and they'd got other people in the situation, that was just like, oh gosh, there's more out, you know.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does feel like such a rare condition, especially you probably never heard of it either before.
Mm,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a moment where you think, well, I've never even heard of this thing. You know, I must be the only one going through this. So that's one of the comforts of being part of a community like Soft.
Yeah, definitely. And I think at the time I was ready to sort of, once I got some support, I sort of took all the support that I could from Soft, which was great. And then I went away again for a bit because, as you know, with grief, it can happen at different times and it's ongoing. So, you know, at the time, my husband was then, his grief was kicking in, so I was supporting him a bit more. And then I come back to a Soft. I think I've been with Soft about 8 years now. And I then got in touch when I felt ready as a volunteer. So I thought I really wanted to help people, you know, going through the same situation. I felt like it was just honouring Amelia, honouring her life, that I was doing something as well. So it was really important to me. So I got in touch and I asked if I could look into volunteering, which I did all the training. And I wasn't sure if I would like it, but still love it. Still really love helping families and professionals.
And are you talking about being a support volunteer now, Juliette?
Yes, I am, Kate. Yeah, sorry, being a support volunteer. So yeah, that's what I've done since I started Soft, which was about 8 years ago, on the telephone and email support. And then recently, in the last couple of years, I then become a trustee of Soft as well, to get more involved. So both roles at the moment.
And your husband's involved, isn't he?
He is, yeah. My husband wanted to be involved, and again, I think it was more of a thank you to Soft for the support they'd given us. And we, like I said, we wanted to honour Amelia, and he's, you know, he thought, oh, I can't do the support role, what can I do? But he runs his own IT business, so he's obviously helped Soft out with all the IT and anything like that. So that's his way of helping as well. So
that's a really a family effort to be involved in and honour Amelia, which is really lovely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And just becoming like a trustee, I felt like as a volunteer, it's great. But being a trustee and a volunteer, you can see both sides of the story. And it feels like it's just like part of me now. Soft is part of our family, like you said, our family life, really. And I've gone on to have 2 healthy children. I'm lucky to do that. And our children are 6 and 10 now, and they know about Amelia. We bring them up to know about their sister, and they know about Soft. We go to all the Soft days every year and do the remembrance and join in, and they live the family events. And they just they feel like they're part of Soft, so they know, you know, everything about it. So it's really lovely.
Lovely. So you mentioned the days, the family days there. I mean, in my time at Soft, there's been no such thing just because of the pandemic. So tell us a bit more about those family days. What would happen at them, and how did they, what were they about?
Yeah, it's such a shame, really, that COVID has unfortunately done that. But we did a successful digital one last year, didn't we?
Yes,
which was great. But it is lovely being in person with it, you know, seeing people. I think it was just more of a community feel when you go to these family days. I've been to a few, and it just feels everyone has either been, you know, was either there with a child with trisomy, or they've had experience, you know, a child might have died, or family member, and everyone's just feels like you've all been in the same story, but different routes, different paths. And it's just really, just feels really warm, empathetic environment, and everyone's just really supportive. And it's the sort of place that if you want to go to the talks, you can join in. If you want to just sit and talk to someone else and just get to know them, and just, you know, it's sort of a social feel as well, then you do that. So it's definitely a sort of Soft community feel. And once you're there the whole day, you're sort of like, and then they do remembrance at the end, which is always lovely. And we always remember, you know, all the children that we've lost, and that's really important. My children love that bit. They get involved as well. And we used to do balloons. We used to let off the balloons, but you know, we do it, or maybe stars and trees. So it just feels like just a proper sort of brings your family together in a supportive way.
Lovely. So I'm listening to all those elements and thinking how we tried to emulate those last year for the virtual conference. And I suppose we kicked off with the sort of Zoom call for all and everyone to just come together and have a chat and get to know each other a bit better. And then we had the talks by the experts on the first day. And we had some question and answer sessions with those same experts after the sessions. And then, yeah, the final day was, I think, a bereavement theme, and we had a talk by Ali Brett, the bereavement midwife, and it all culminated in a bereavement event, which was online, but people had contributed to. So, yeah, I suppose we were missing that face-to-face element, but we still tried to bring in the same themes and same core bits of the conference that are important to people. So, yeah, different times, but we've made most of what we, a difficult situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we'll be back to family days very soon.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I think we're all, really keen to meet in person and see everyone again. And yeah, it's really lovely what you describe about it being for the whole family and your children also enjoying the event and it being part of their lives as well. So my son's he's young still, but I'm sure that as he grows up, SOF will be an important part of his life and, the memories of his sister as well. So,
yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, although Amelia was obviously our firstborn, so they never got to meet her, she's still really part of our family. I always say I've got 3 children. And I always include her, and we have photos of her and we celebrate her birthday every year. And my children will go to school and say they've got a sister, and I'll be like, oh, you haven't got a sister? And they're like, yes, I have. And it's really important for them to see that. And they really like sort of being part of it. It's important to our family and important to them as well.
Yeah, and I suppose it just shows that SOF's not just for parents, it's for siblings. We've recently launched our grandparents support calls, and those have been a huge success. Grandparents didn't know they could access support from SOF, but of course we hear from the whole family. We've recently launched our dad's Facebook group. Not much chatter goes on in there just yet, but I suppose that's what we could probably expect from dads. They're waiting for somebody else to say the first word. But yeah, we like to hear from dads. We've had a number of stories submitted, written by dads. We've had a few podcasts as well from dads' perspectives, which is important to hear from everyone, really, everyone affected, because it's not just the parents. So that's definitely something we're trying to focus on as SOF and hear everyone's voices.
And I think it's really important with the mental health of everybody, the whole family, and any professionals involved, any friends involved, really, as well. And I've gone on and I'm training to be a counsellor, and I think part of that was part of my SOF journey, that I chose to be a counsellor, because sort of I started off sort of the volunteering with SOF and realising how important listening to people and mental health is, and I think that's really important. So I hope that I can bring that counselling aspect into SOF in the future, because I think that's really important, looking after everybody's mental health as well.
Yeah, that's really lovely. I can see such an amazing journey that you've been on with SOF and how it's sort of changed as the years have gone by. So it's fantastic that you've done that training and you're going to use it in such an amazing way and help families, SOF families, really.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and that'd be really nice. And as volunteers, we obviously signpost out. We'll always look for local sort of charities or any counselling or any other mental health support or anything they need, whether it's physical or emotional support, as part of our role as well. But it'd be lovely as a SOF community if we could maybe broaden those services as we're becoming more well known and growing and developing like we have. I mean, I've noticed a big change from SOF when I joined 8 years ago to SOF now. It has grown. We've got so much going on. It's amazing, the changes. So yeah.
All positive and all for the families, like we said, or to help people out there. So well, Juliette, it's been really lovely talking to you, and thank you for sharing your experience and all your knowledge about SOF over the years. It's been lovely to have your time today. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.